Welcome to the Leg It Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neal.
First off, massive thanks again to Monterex. As you well know by now, they sponsor this podcast. You can get 15% off if you type in Leg It at the checkout. I'm walking around like a Monterex model now. That's all I'm wearing. It's good stuff, I wouldn't say it. And again, I wouldn't get a sponsor on that I didn't really believe in, I didn't like. I love the Monterex gear, it's boss, so get involved with it. Also, a bit of a thank you to my favourite bar in Bootle, the Hyper Bar. Andy has given us this to put up in the office, which is pretty much every legend that's ever been involved or associated with Liverpool Football Club as of 2017. So this is going to go up on the wall. On that note, to be a bit cheeky, if anyone does come across anything that maybe, I don't know, your missus is saying, get it out of my house, it's not a man cave, it's a living room, because I've had that conversation over the years. If anyone does have anything and you want to see it up in the office, then I'm sure we'd be happy to take it off you. So and anyway, Andy, massive thanks for this, mate. Right, on to this week's show.
There we go.
How have you been anyway, all right?
So, mate, all good. Yeah, alive, good. Happy.
Probably kick off then on Liverpool-Chelsea.
Yeah, bit of a weird one.
The battle of Van Dijk and Lukaku turned out to be Matip just having a decent game, really.
Yeah, it's great Matip when he's fit, isn't he?
Telling you.
Problem is, he's going to... What are we into, September?
Yeah, he's probably due an injury now.
By the end of September, he's done, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is brilliant on his day, but...
Lukaku done him big time on one instance. But then I'm sure he had him off in the second half, though, so I think it was a bit of a draw between Matip and Lukaku.
Yeah,
I think
Lukaku weren't really at his best, was he, I think?
No.
But as I said, to be honest, like, the game, I think the game was ruined at half time, really. I mean, it is, he handballed it is what it is, but he probably could have given me yellow and no one would have really complained. But
really?
Yeah, I don't reckon the ground would have really went...
It was a goal, though?
No, it would have been at the end of the game, would have been like, yeah, it's a red card, but...
And I agree, and both managers said the same. It did ruin the game, however...
We've got to be better than that, though, I think.
I think everyone... We'll come on to Twitter in a minute, but... Everyone's so negative about it. Listen, the European champions, they're a good team at the best of times. They've currently got a very good manager in. Some great players who've just come in. They've got that buzz of a new signing in Lukaku. A draw.
I just don't think we threatened though at all. We were just dead laboured on it. It was just like, do you know what I mean? If we'd have had one of them games where, in the second half we were like knocking on the door, and like, there was...
We did knock on the door, mate.
But a lot of it was just a cross, wasn't it? Nice and all in front of Chelsea. But I guess that's just the riches of, what Liverpool have been over the last few years. You've got to expect more, aren't you?
I think, maybe you're right. I think the standards have been that high, and we've just blew teams away. From the likes of Barca's to your Man City's to everyone. Well, like, why aren't we beating 10-man Chelsea?
I think that's a good thing, though. I think it's like, we should have won and we weren't good enough to win. So we should, we should be disappointed with that. I don't want to go back to, like, years ago when we're like, it was a point of Chelsea, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think, though, the disappointment is coming from, because it was 10 men, which paints a different story. Sometimes playing against 10 men's harder.
They got sent to 10 last year, didn't they, at the bridge, and then we went and put 3 on them or whatever it was. And that Christensen just rugby's a whole man, remember that? Yeah,
actually do,
I think, it's just one of them. We should have been better, but we weren't. But it's still early doors, and no one's going to remember that game, when at the business end of the season. No.
I missed the goal as well.
Can't get the point.
I was with I was with Danny Nicho. Shout out to Danny Nicho, who's been on the pod before. I was down with him, standing there with my pint, and I heard a cheer. I thought it was a goal, and then I was like getting 1-1. He went, no, it was a penalty. I was like, why aren't we getting back up there then? But I had my pint at this point, and I just had to stand and listen. It's 1-1.
Good pen, really good pen.
I've not even seen it back, actually.
Really good pen, but just move on, innit? Straight into the international week. It's a bit of a bitter thing to go into the international week with, but we come back, we play, who've we got? Leeds, as
soon as we get back,
decent
12th, I think,
away as well, be a lively game. So,
When you think of Leeds away, what you think of?
Verduga.
4-3.
Yeah. I always remember as a kid Liverpool versus Leeds.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
There've been some great goals. Tony Yeboah.
I'm too young for that.
Oh, don't give it all that. Make me feel old.
You were in the stands watching Tony Yeboah. But I do remember it loads. Like
my childhood, every time the ball hit the bar, Yeboah.
I was fully Gerrard always.
Nah,
even when he started fading and I was like 19. But yeah, obviously good to have Leeds back, but it's just one of them fixtures always sticks in your head, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, made up the back as well. Yeah, so bit disappointed over that. City absolutely dominated Arsenal. I mean, hindsight's a great thing, but you know, Man City -3 was the bet to do that weekend.
It was so easy.
I know.
Like,
it was awful.
I feel bad for Arteta, you know. Like, he's just... I know people are saying, like, oh, give him time and, like, get his ideas across and that, but that team has got mate.
No, it's got no chance, has it?
Nothing.
Even I said they finished 12th. Paul Mason come on, and I know sometimes he's prone to chat a bit of shite, but he was like the same. He's like 10th, mid-table. Even
like Aubameyang and that, like, years ago, which is kind of the point we're probably going to come on with, you know, Liverpool not signing anyone. Years ago, I was one of the people like, get Aubameyang, get this. Now, if you got offered them, you'd be like, oh, you're all right. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, obviously, as you say, hindsight is a brilliant thing, but they've just got no one. That's Smith Rowe, maybe, and the other kid from Real Madrid, Odegaard, whoever his name is. But other than that...
No, you wouldn't take anyone.
None.
The fact that Willian terminated his contract...
It's like 20 million.
And walked away from 20 million says how shit Arsenal are.
Yeah, I seen his agent saying stuff like it wasn't bad Willian, even though Willian's a fat cunt and he doesn't even diet or nothing. He was like, we got told there's a project there and there's no project whatsoever.
Did you see Ozil's tweet?
No, was he?
He done a tweet like a bit of a something like the project or something like that with like a little crying face.
The thing,
I think he's just been lying to the players, haven't he?
Maitland-Niles as well, wasn't he? He was trying to go to Everton, Maitland-Niles, did you see that?
No.
So Everton wanted him on loan and they've blocked it. Because he's been on loan every season, only for 5 years. But Everton wants him on loan. He put on Instagram, I just want to go somewhere where I'm going to play and they actually want me. Like, let me go. I think he put a hashtag let me go or something. And
he's in prison, let me go.
Literally on Instagram stories. That's how bad it's gone.
There's not a good vibe there, mate, is there?
The lads, I'm in a WhatsApp group and one of the lads, Adam, put in... if you could play for any footy team, like, it weren't a choice on, like, lifestyle, location, all that stuff, like, where would you play? And I was like, I'd play somewhere where there was absolutely no pressure and you just roll around. Just have a Leicester, well, not Leicester, maybe Southampton or something. And I said, tell you who's last? Arsenal, mate.
Oh.
I wouldn't...
Because their fan base demands all, you know, really high standards and stuff, and they are a million miles off.
£2 million a week to go on the Emirates and just chase people.
But 20 million to walk away from 20 mil, that's a strong statement.
And he's a rich man, I get that, but still, it's 20 mil.
He's gone back to Corinthians, hasn't
he? Yeah, he's be a god, hasn't
he? Yeah, mad one that.
Crazy old transfer window, though, wasn't it?
Was mad. Mbappe done what you're saying there about the hashtag get me out. Mbappe done one and deleted it, didn't he?
Did he, yeah?
Well, one of his mates done a story and tagged him in it and said something like, you know, keep professional, keep your head down, keep working hard, one day your dreams will come. And he shared it and then quickly deleted it.
It's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out, but from sitting here last week to this week, so much has happened, hasn't it?
It feels mad sometimes when we sit down and think, what can we talk about? You forget all the stuff that's happened.
Mad. Like the Ronaldo thing happened so quick.
Well, we were talking about it, weren't we? And by the way, I think you nailed it from the response we got on social media.
Ego, yeah.
The ego, Ronaldo's ego, I think people are believing that.
Yeah, it's nailed on, I think. I mean, I don't think it was ever in his plan to go and play for Man United again.
But he's going
to
say it is, yeah.
Because it's the easiest line to roll out every...
I've come home.
Yeah. Sir Alex disappearing. If he was for Sir Alex, why didn't you stay?
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what line, if any, City come out with, you know.
Yeah, we didn't want him.
Yeah, if they say something like that.
What did you see? I don't listen to TalkSport, but did you see Sarah Sinclair?
Oh, he's a fucking idiot, isn't he? He follows me on Twitter, you know. Yeah.
DM him something. Not bad.
I think it was we went to an event together once or something, and we became like Twitter pals fucking ages ago.
Yeah, he fucking put something like this.
Talk shite.
This could be it for City or whatever.
Yeah.
He's gonna take them to the next level, and then he goes to United. He's like, nah, garbage. His legs are gone. I love it though.
They talk a lot of shite, don't they, mate?
I can't listen to TalkSport. Like,
there's one good fella on TalkSport, the one who used to own Crystal Palace.
So Simon Jordan.
Yeah.
I can't listen to any of them.
I like him.
I mean, there's even the boxing coverage, like, you know, we had Nick Pete on, the fellow who does his podcast with Adam Catterall, he does it, and I like him, but I just can't listen to that radio station. Just full of wankers.
Yeah. Our mate Lara Woods is on there though.
Yeah, but she's alright.
She's alright.
Yeah, but she can stay with... What does she do? Like the drive time show or something?
The morning show, I think.
Yeah, well...
High hopes of getting her on fight week, by the way.
Oh, really? That'd be brilliant. But
slid into the DMs again.
don't show this back.
Yeah, no.
He said TalkSport's garbage.
Yeah, that'll be the first in the comments.
yeah. Jordan hates TalkSport. I'll have to just tell her. But
yeah, nah, she's cool. So yeah, transfer window mad. The Mbappe thing, I think from reading a lot what was getting said on Twitter from Spanish journalists, it was a bit of a PR spin, if you believe this conspiracy. So obviously Barca, which I'll touch upon in a minute, financial ruin. Madrid, financial ruin. But it's almost like who's not as fucked as the other one.
Yeah.
So the idea was Real Madrid were never going to genuinely get Mbappe, but it was a bit of a PR show to show that they've got the money if they really wanted them.
If they want to sign someone.
If they want to sign him. And that's what I'm led to believe from the Spanish journalists I've read.
Yeah, I mean...
Because PSG said the amount, and apparently Real Madrid offered it. But apparently...
We haven't got it.
So apparently it was... So then in the end, Real Madrid just took their bid off the table.
eBay on steroids, isn't it?
Mad, isn't it?
Just bidding on random Mondeos.
What's that? No, I'll have that. Then you're like, shit, no, delete it.
Out. But yeah, it's like we were saying last week though, it is all ego football, isn't it? It's like, it's, you know, he's got a bigger set of bollocks.
And Real Madrid are a very ego PR club, aren't they? So I can well believe that.
Yeah, I can. But it just depends, for him, it's how he reacts, isn't it? Because if he goes and sulks, it's like, you know, what does it do to when Madrid come back? He's got to now keep his form up and, you know, keep everyone happy. It's not easy.
Well, it's going to be interesting because they come out and said that Mbappe's promised us he won't leave on a free. But in January, he can sign a pre-contract agreement.
He's not going to sign a new contract, is he now? Yeah, that's 3 years. And
what's he going to do? Stick to his word to PSG and say, I promise you I wouldn't sign for anyone else on a free? Or Real Madrid are going to go, because we don't have to buy you for 150 million, we'll give you 100 mil in your bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do?
I know we idolise them, especially our own clubs, but these players and that, probably rightly so as well, they don't care about the word. Like, what they said to you 3 years ago when they were signing the contract doesn't mean jack shit.
No.
Unless it's in writing, unless it's, you know, crossed off by lawyers and whatnot. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
It's going to be some pissed off people in PSG when they're paying him.
Oh, mate, not half.
You know, what did they pay Monaco for? About 140 mil?
I don't know.
And he's not won the Champions League yet.
No, he's just... To be honest, they've got to win the Champions League this year.
Have they won it yet?
No, they haven't. They got beat the final, didn't they, Bayern?
That was it, yeah.
But they've got to... There's literally no other option. They had...
Yeah.
Them and City, which obviously only one of them can, have to win the Champions League this year. Because otherwise, they're failing. And, like, that's just how it is. Because, you know, City, that's all they've wanted. And they brought Pep in to do it, and he hasn't done it. And, you know, PSG they've both spent billions, haven't they? But, yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's an interesting one. It
has ruined football, and the story I was going to touch on, which is absolute madness, by the way, is the Griezmann story. Have you seen that?
How they took a loan out to get him or something? So
Barca take a loan out and buy Griezmann from Atletico Madrid. You know what? I want to try and find the tweet because it's Barcelona are fucked, by the way. Like, they are actually fucked. They've lost Messi, which, let's be honest, has been carrying them for a long time.
See that kid that took number 10?
Yeah, what a shitty fucking job.
I'll take it. Everyone in the changes must have been like, lad, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's just like, how can you ever take that?
Unless he scores an hat-trick every single week.
Yeah, for the next 10 years.
For the next 10 years, he's absolutely screwed.
Yeah, Barcelona selling Griezmann back to Atletico for 40 million, 2 years after paying 120 million to sign him. A transfer fee funded by taking out a short-term 35 million quid bank loan and mortgaging 85 million of future income. An era-defining shambles.
So what they put that transfer against expected income?
Yeah, and now they've lost Messi on a free. They're fucked. They are so fucked. And to top it off, they bought Griezmann and Atletico won the fucking league.
Yeah. And now they give him back.
And then just give him back for a third of the price.
And they give him Suarez.
It's madness.
Yeah, they're screwed. But, you know, it's their own fault, really. I've got no sympathy for them whatsoever. I mean, you know, not to segue us back into Liverpool, but
I was going to say that was quite a good. I didn't even mean that. It was quite a good way back into the running of Liverpool Football Club.
But that's what I don't get. Like, I'm not saying, like, I agree with what FSG did with the furlough and certain things that they do. And certain
you agreed with that?
No, like, I disagreed with what they did. Like, you know, that's wrong.
Yeah.
They should never do that. And certain beliefs they have and certain, you know, I'm sure the way they work, I'm not with. But Liverpool need to be careful what they wish for. Do you know what I mean? Because
I agree.
Whether you like, dislike, agree or disagree, they're good business people. And Liverpool's running very well now as a business, not as a club, as a business. It's what I think what Liverpool fans want, and which is probably what I'd love, is like fan ownerships like the German clubs do, or, you know, someone who gets it or whatever. But that doesn't exist anymore.
No, does it fuck?
You're not going to have like a socialist, you know, billionaire who's going to, like, you know, run your club and give it back to the fans and be that club, and that way of working does not exist anymore. No. So I think you need to choose what you want.
Better the devil you know as well.
Do you want what we've got now? And, you know, people say, oh, they didn't invest in a transfer window, but I don't know if that's a good or bad thing yet.
I think I agree, by the way, all this FSG out and stuff, because we never signed anyone, I think is ridiculous, and there's some proper Twitter virgins out there who are like the biggest mings going. But anyway, that's a whole other... The only slight issue I've got is that whole saying of, you know, strengthen when you're in a position of power. I don't think they've strengthened enough whilst they've been in a position of power. And yes, I don't want them going out spending money on expected earnings, because you don't know what's going to happen and stuff, and it's dangerous to do that. However, should they have shown a bit more faith in Klopp and said, look, here's another 50 million if you really do need to sign someone? I don't know.
Do we know whether that's Klopp saying no or them saying no?
Well, that's it. I guess you never know, do you?
Because last year it was, Klopp rejected Werner. He didn't want him. That's worked out well. But then this year it's they don't want to give it. So we don't know if Klopp's saying, I'm quite happy. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he's not, but maybe he is. Like, I'm not saying I'm not trying to defend them, but I just don't think Liverpool fans, like, as our culture, you can call it, I just don't think we look at the whole situation. We just see, where the fuck's the dough? Do you know what I mean? Why haven't we signed Mbappe, which was never going to happen?
Oh, that done my head in the end, that. Where did that come from?
I think someone tweeted the other day saying, we knew Mbappe was available, so why...
It's just fucking stupid.
I think that's what... All that noise just overtakes what's actually happening. And as I say...
I think things get amplified on Twitter as well.
I mean, maybe,
stupid opinions get amplified.
Maybe Klopp should just say that it was me. Do you know what I mean? If it was him. Because what he says at the moment sticks with the fans. Everyone accepts it, do you know what I mean? So maybe if it was him, then he should come out and say that. But we constantly do this. We get owners, it's great, get them out. We get owners, it's great, get them out. What do we actually want? I think people just, as I said before, Liverpool fans just need to get comfortable with the club's running as a business now, not as the Liverpool we know and love. Because we can love it as a club, but it's also a business. Yeah,
and I think you're just setting yourself up for disappointment if you think, why aren't they thinking of the fans? Well, because it's a business. Do you know what I mean?
You are, and this sounds horrible, but it's true. Anyone who has a season ticket, you are just a replaceable commodity. You leave and they'll get someone back in. Yeah. You're a number. You're someone who sits in a seat, rightly or wrongly. I know it wasn't that way in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or whatever, but it is now, and that's just the way it is.
And I think as well, as Scousers as well, it's quite funny, isn't it? Because we'll say all these things, and it's like most Scousers, most match going Scousers don't buy any stuff from the club shop. They will buy from the local lads who are selling t-shirts, which I'm all for. But if you're going to go back to the business model, the business owners could turn around and go, well, you're moaning about no transfer kitty. No one's buying stuff from the club shop.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we're relying on the tourists to buy all the stuff from the club shop. Yeah. So it's kind of like,
if we didn't
want it your own way all the time, and it doesn't work like that.
If we didn't have tourists, and we didn't have, whether I agree with it or disagree, we didn't have, half the stadiums, corporate tickets, the club would be in a worse position now, and that's just a fact. Yeah. And
it's money, and I don't think it's just Liverpool that's fucked. It's the game's fucked, and Liverpool is just part of that game that is also fucked.
I mean, we've had this conversation before, but when you go back to the ethics of Liverpool and all that stuff, that only now exists with us. With
the fans.
And not even 50% of them.
No.
You only got to listen when that chant goes round of, F a certain political party. There's only a couple of people singing it in the old place. Do you know what I
don't know, it was good on Saturday.
Yeah, but in general, there's definitely not everyone.
Yeah, I've seen people going, why did you say F them? Are you trying to cut down your swearing?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I need to, sorry. Apologies if the swearing's offended anyone.
I just think of people who are like maybe listening like in the car.
In the car, the kids, yeah. Apologies, I'll try stop as well.
Serious bombs out.
I know, sorry. But I've seen, F the Tories getting screamed on the cop, and then I went on Twitter the next day and someone said, stop making Anfield so political. You just think, what are you big wolf standing on the cop for?
It should be, and it's all right to have them views, but the point remains, not everyone. Liverpool's not the big socialist thing it used to be. Do you know what I mean? And it's just the way the club's ran obviously amplifies that. But obviously there's also a big percentage of Liverpool fans that do still do have them beliefs, and that's good because we need to keep that in a certain route of the club. But I just don't believe you can have it both ways. You can't.
No, we can't, and I think we are guilty of wanting it to be the best in all, and it could not work.
I seen a tweet yesterday. There was like some guy from the Middle East who'd offered like a certain amount of money for Liverpool, and like they've rejected it, and he tried to put like 2 billion on it or something mad like that. But then that all that says to me is, and everyone's liking it and this and this and this, what's the difference between them and them? Yes, they might give you more transfer, but they'll also take away that part of the ground that's still got the old school season tickets and turn it into something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also they're all in it for the same thing.
We've give Man City and Chelsea so much stick over the years. I don't know, we've had wealthy owners in the past and stuff, but I know they've not given us the big transfer kitties, but we've given them so much stick. Do we really want to be a club that just gets given billions?
Exactly.
No, I don't.
But if FSG seen all this and went, right, sound, we're off, what happens? Where's Liverpool left at? Klopp won't be here long.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Salah and then won't be here long.
I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to tie all your best players down to long-term contracts, and it's getting frowned upon a bit. I've seen everyone giving stick a little bit from having Nat Phillips and Jordan Henderson potentially here till 2025. That doesn't mean that they're going to both be starting in 2025.
And you don't know what's in that contract. Jordan Henderson could have signed that contract and said he has 2025, but if a certain club offered this amount and this certain year, we're allowed to accept it. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of small print in there. All we see is the tweet. 5 more years. I mean, the only question mark I had is, apparently the reason why Ronaldo left is because he was too old, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And in an instance.
It seems a bit unfortunate for Ronaldo there, doesn't it? That he's the only one not to be given a contract.
But it is what it is, isn't it? Well,
it is what it is.
Across the park's alright, isn't it?
Everton, mate, they must be flying. Surely the fans are happy.
I think they are, on the general consensus of what...
7 points in 3 games, joint, second, aren't they? Spurs are top.
Rafa's coming across well, isn't he? Even to, like, just, obviously on the outside looking in. Seems to have got... I seen a boss interview with Andros Townsend, and we all sort of laughed when he signed him. And he done an interview after, I think it was Brighton, was it? And he was just like, because he realised how big the club is and he just wants to be there and work hard. And I think a lot of Everton fans hear things like that and they're like, yeah, we can get behind that. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with Everton becoming a horrible club again, like we said before. And if they can get players who are all buying in, it's better than, the 10 years they've had of people coming just to use it as a springboard.
And to get a big fat wage packet, by the way. Mate, I think the type of club Everton, hopefully for them, will become now are the type of club who will attract players from the likes of Arsenal. The Arsenal who have in an awful situation, they don't want to be there, and Everton could be like a bit of a clean break. Like, come on, there's something a bit new here going on.
It's like that kid as well, who they got into, Mari Gray. So he was obviously a big talent through the England system, and with Leicester, went to Leverkusen, didn't quite settle. But then he comes to Everton, starts well, the fans are now loving him.
Bit of confidence going.
And he looks like a player. It's just one of them, like...
It's always players who need a bit of a break, and it's like, right, I'm getting money here, come on, let's go.
And Rafa's obviously building something a little bit, very Everton. Also, like, I'm not saying they're going to go back to the way they was under Moyes, but sort of that blood and thunder. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's never going to be an easy game against Everton, because Everton probably over the years, we're seen as a bit like, especially when they went out and signed like Sigurdsson and all them. It was a bit of an easy game, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? They were like pretty slow.
Sigurdsson, the man who cannot be named.
Yeah, literally. It was all a bit cumbersome and like, you know. But if they go back to like every time you play Everton, it's going to be horrible. You're not going to want to play them, are you? And they're going to get points off people.
Yeah, mate, I think it's an exciting time for the Blues, really do.
And it's good for us. It's good for the city. You know, I've said nothing more. Like I've got nothing against. Like I don't hate Everton at all. I'm jealous of the stories of my dad and that when Liverpool and Everton were boxed.
Oh, mate,
you know what I mean?
how amazing would it be?
Because like I know
I'd love nothing more than an FA Cup final, Liverpool and Everton.
Yeah, or like both had a sniff at the title. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's brilliant for what Liverpool is. That's why Everton's ground's a good thing, because it's good for the city.
Just imagine the boozers every Saturday and Sunday if Liverpool and Everton were going for the title.
Yeah.
And everyone's happy in work Monday morning.
Benefits,
It's great for the city. So I hope they do well.
Yeah, I just don't like, you know, the bitterness is not for me. And if Everton were to qualify for Europe under Rafa first season, I'd be made up for them.
Same. Football heavy, as again now the Prem started, which I'm loving. One story I did see was obviously a lot of news in the moment about Afghan. There is an Afghan refugee who is an absolute superstar, absolute baller. So basically the story of her, if I can find it, where are we? So her dad was sadly killed by the Taliban, and she's obviously got out and is now taking the world by storm in the football world. Her name is Nadia Nadim. She fled Afghan with her mother and sisters after the Taliban killed her father back in 2000. After settling in Denmark, she's now gone on to represent the national team more than 90 times. Danish footballer Nadia Nadim, whose father was executed by the Taliban, says she does not believe the group's promise to women and girls that they won't be harmed. But I mean, what a lifeline that is for your Afghan women and children who hopefully, you know, can still flee Afghan if they can, take refuge, you know, or even the people who have been lucky enough to escape Afghanistan and are settling up, whether it's in England, whether it's, you know, wherever. They've got the hope to think, wow, my life can turn out to be something that I never imagined.
For all the pain, the suffering and all that stuff that we see constantly, you know, it's good to see like a positive, although a lot of it's not positive, like, you know, what's going on, but, you know, at least kids, you know, male and female, I've got someone to go, well, it happened to her. Yeah. I've been now put in somewhere that's not my home. Why can't it happen to me? Yeah, and I think that's what people like that need, isn't it? They need. Yeah. We all need it, really. We all need someone who come from where we come from to do something
big time.
But they need it more than, you know, me and you.
Yeah, 100%. And so I thought that was a nice story this week from sport. Just to
it's always them, indeed. There's always them little beacons of light, even when, you know, everything's crap and everything's shit. Sport just throws up something, and I think that's why the Paralympics, I think, is so good.
Yeah,
because, like, you know, all the stories that those people have.
Yeah, there's been some amazing stories as well.
It's just like
two lads I tipped up, Mickey Yule, he grabbed the bronze.
Yeah, seen, yeah.
And Jacko Van Gas grabbed a gold.
Unbelievable.
So two ex-military lads who were injured in Afghanistan went on and done really well in the Paralympics, which was boss to see.
I think, do you know what? I think the Paralympics is more a mental game than the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously you do, you know, you're in the Paralympics, but I don't know, it's just a different level of mental strength. Do you know what I mean?
Totally agree, and I agree for this story will sum what you're thinking up. A friend of mine, Joe Townsend, lost both his legs in Afghanistan, starts doing triathlon, gets involved in Ironman triathlon, which is a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, and then a marathon. Now obviously he's got no legs, so he just swims using his arms 2.5 miles, gets out the water and gets on one of these, you know, road bikes where you're leaning forward and you're doing that. You're leaning back and doing that with your hands for 26 miles. For 112. And then he gets in a wheelchair and does that for then 26. But the mental aspect I'm talking about is when that race is finished, he's still in a wheelchair. Yeah. So it's not as if, like, right, that's it, I can rest my arms now. Yeah, his day-to-day is still on his arms. And I think that mentally, like, that's some mental robustness right there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I was watching it, I think, the other day with Billy Munger, you know, the guy who had the crash in
the F1 driver.
Yeah, well, he was on his way to F1 when he had a pretty bad catch, lost both his legs. So the gist of the programme I got, he's now training to try and become a sprinter in the Paris Paralympics, or like that's his aim.
Yeah.
And like so he put like his blades and that and stuff on, and his first one he couldn't quite get the motion, and then like within like the obviously it's a prolonged period, but by the end of the episode you could see like he'd just gone straight back to the driver.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
His face,
yeah, like he weren't worried about the cameras or like his lines and not, and he was just like focused in. His boss.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that type of desire and attitude, mate. I think everyone could do a little bit of.
But I guess what people like that have overcome. You know, it's sort of just another.
It's in them, then, isn't it? Now? Yeah.
But it's brilliant, and it's good to see it getting real, actual coverage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As much as the Olympics, really.
Yeah. No, totally, mate. Yeah.
Where are we at now? Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. I didn't watch it, did you?
No,
thank God.
I won on the decision bet though.
I know we tipped it. Well, Jordan tipped it up last week.
Yeah.
12-1.
That was all right. 16 it was, and then it went. I think it went off at 8. I think everyone got onto it, but
everyone's listening to the sports.
yeah. We're moving markets now, but it's just a fucking shit show. He got it once, real first time skate, and they went through the rope.
I've seen that, yeah.
But you know what I was saying last week about it being not being scripted, but Woodley knowing his role.
His role.
That was exactly it.
Really? Do you think?
Hit him like that, and then
never hit him again.
Then he sort of let him get round the other side of the ring. Then he threw another one. And at the end of the thing's like, I want a rematch. I should have took it out. It's all bullshit, isn't it?
Oh, so do you definitely think it was 100%. All staged?
I don't think it was WWE, but it wasn't far off. I don't think. I just think he was told, your role is
do not kill him.
Yeah, if you hit him and you clean him out with one shot, okay. Well,
don't go for the kill.
This is your role. You know what I mean? And then obviously they put Tommy Fury on the undercard, didn't he? He stunk the place out, so he's not getting a fight.
Was he awful? Was he?
Mate, he was about.
Because you had him down for the banging him in 2 rounds, didn't you?
I said one. I was speaking to people, I was like, there's no way. Anthony Taylor, who we fought, is an MMA fighter, pretty low level one. He's had one boxing fight, which was 2017, and he got beat. He's about 5'7". Tommy Fury's about 6'1". I don't even know how much of a weight difference.
It took him 4 rounds as well,
Mate,
didn't it?
He couldn't, and he was gone as well. He had nothing in the tank. More people saying, oh, he's an awkward opponent. He wasn't fucking awkward at all. Tommy Fury's just not very good.
Do you think he's lost his chance at the big payday?
Well, I don't know. Maybe, Jake Paul will be like, well, if I beat him, at least I'll beat a boxer, and like no one can say that anymore. But it's also the other thing, like, are people going to buy into it after watching that? He was put on there against him to knock him out, and everyone be like, fucking hell, he's alright. He might beat.
Did he knock him out in the end?
No, went all the way.
Oh, shut up. I thought 4th round.
4-round decision.
Oh, was that right? Oh, wow. I thought it was he stopped him in the 4th.
No, 4-round decision.
Oh, wow.
And everyone's like, he's gonna knock Jake Paul out, he's gonna do this, gonna do that. But now it gets made, and probably people will be going, Jake Paul probably beat him. You know what I mean? The
only thing I will say about it, I saw that he gave away about $1 million, didn't he?
What to the
to the other fighters?
I don't know how sometimes them things just get made up. I don't know how true it is, but I know it's definitely Tyron Woodley's biggest payday, which is brilliant.
Well, he retweeted it. He obviously is going to makes him look good, but he retweeted it, and I think he gave like Tyron Woodley an extra 500 grand or something. He gave everyone money apart from Tommy Fury, who said no. And then is it Buat or someone? Whoever was on one of the cards, he also never took it because he's mates with Fury. But he gave everyone a top up.
Yeah. If it's too great, but he's just.
He's still an idiot.
A lot of that shit gets fucking made up by someone, and like.
Yeah, maybe so.
Look, Jake Paul's great. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Tyson Fury thing. He give his whole Deontay Wilder purse to charity, and everyone says it and writes it down, and there's statements and that. But
did he actually?
What's happened with him?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of it, with his shit,
fabricated and stuff.
He's just a good. I respect him as a businessman, and I think what he's done is he's seen a pretty dusty old sport, and he's disrupted a bit, which I've got time for. I don't mind a bit of disruption even there. It's like any business, isn't it? If someone comes in and does something a bit differently, you're like, all right, gets me attention. But I just want it to be over now. I just want him to fight his brother and both make 100 million or whatever it is, and then just leave us alone.
The scary thing is, though, it's opened the door to prize fighting, hasn't it now?
100%, yeah.
You get too popular. I mean, how long is it till you get 2 former world leaders, you know, Putin and Obama going at it.
And you know what? It sounds ridiculous.
I'd pay for that.
It's really not, though, is it?
I would pay for that.
As long as there's no like weapons, not. You know what I mean? It's not a fair fight. Like.
Putin's got like a bear in his corner or something.
Pitbull. It's
no,
not...
imagine Obama with an American bald eagle and Putin with a bear.
Mate.
I would pay. Give him 20 quid right now.
But yeah, it's just fucking. As you say, it's opening the doors to this prize fighting stuff where like people think they can do it. It's diluting what's actually happening, but you know, it is what it is. I guess it's going to go on until he finds something else or until he gets knocked out. But he's just going to be taking manageable risks all the way through. You know what I mean? He's not going to like, you know, he's not going to go Canelo. You know, fucking on him. See another one from his gym got popped. Oscar Valdez.
Seeing that, yeah. He's meant to be fighting this weekend, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Seeing Nick Pete was it who said about it?
But yeah, it's fucking...
That beef, they're all eating that beef, that Mexican beef again.
Dirty little sheet, all of them. That's why I'm very few. I don't like Canelo at all, but he's everyone's favourite fighter, isn't he? But he's clearly cheating. But so I think Devin Haney put
Who is your favourite fighter?
Usyk, who's fighting Joshua.
Is it?
Just because he's nuts.
Mine's Callum.
Callum? Yeah, I think...
I love him, lad.
Yeah, I'd pay pretty much anything to watch Callum because it's sort of, I don't know him, but it's sort of the relatable factor, isn't it?
Yeah, the relatable factor, and I just think, mate, he's a monster.
Dude, Usyk's my favourite fighter because I've introduced him now to like loads of people because he went on this run at cruiserweight where he was just going to people's backyards. He went to Latvia, he went to Russia, he's Ukrainian by the way, and like beat people up in the backyard, like these killers who were like cruise, and he was just, he was just fucking dismount. Plus he's nuts. Like, he's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
He plays like he can't speak English, but he understands every single word.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
he was funny in the Bellew build-up, wasn't he?
You could almost see. I know Bellew played it very professional, but you could almost see Bellew like this fucking funny.
Yeah.
And I think he speaks very highly of him now, doesn't he? And you know, he's an incredible fighter. And
so about the difference in your favourite fighter, I was in Tesco's the other day and I saw Callum. He was like a right hand, and he's got his little girl in the trolley. I had my little girl in the trolley, and he's looking at his phone. Obviously, his missus has given him like loads of notes. I had the same. I like Callum. Right hand.
Modern life.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, great. Callum's obviously on the Usyk AJ undercard, isn't he? So it'll be brilliant to see him back. Light heavyweight, where he's needed to be now for a long time. He outgrew super middleweight a long time ago, really.
But what was mad to think how he was making weight. I trained with him a couple of times, and you see him, and he's so like rangy, and you're thinking, how are you making that weight?
But the thing is, he never ever looked until Canelo. He never looked like he was struggling. Because I remember when he fought Groves. Groves always struggled to come down.
I loved that fight.
But he,
I loved everything about that World Super Series.
I remember Groves seeing him and being like, "Why don't you look like me? You know, why haven't you?" And it's sort of like he might be the same as light heavyweight, because I think now light heavyweight's going to be, he's going to have to make weight. It's not like he's going up and he won't have to make weight, do you know what I mean? He's going to have to make weight, but I just think he's a whole new animal at that, up that.
Yeah, it's exciting times.
168 to 175, you know, best part of half a stone, isn't it? For him not to have to take half a stone off.
Just power.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's set for life, but it'd be great to see him get another world title. Go down as the best Scouse fighter ever if he did that. Yeah.
Other boxing this weekend, mate. Thingo's back, isn't he?
Yeah.
Looking an absolute monster.
Conor Benn, yeah.
Conor Benn.
So obviously got this guy.
I don't know whether it's his tattoos or what, but he just looks scary, man.
Yeah. He done an interview last night, actually. I was watching, he's a bit fuming, because this was for fight camp, wasn't it? But he got COVID.
Yeah.
So it's now being put on the undercard of Josh Warrington at Headingley outside stadium, 20,000 I think it is. Will be a great atmosphere. They're going to love Conor Benn. But he was sort of like, you know, this should have been done weeks ago. He's obviously had to go through COVID and isolating this and isolating that, and now he's back. But originally I thought against Adrian Granados he would maybe go a few rounds. I know people are like, sort of after the Vargas thing, I said it at that time, but especially now with the COVID thing, I think it might, you know, you don't know how it affects people, do you? I think he might actually get some rounds in, which is what he needs.
What, as in the COVID would have affected him a bit?
Yeah, you don't really know, do you? I mean, I know he said, you know, I weren't that ill, or went this or went that, but we all say that, don't we? And
yeah, maybe,
you know, we've seen it of different athletes where they've struggled with, like, sort of the comeback from it. But yeah, it'd be great to see him. It's a great card, to be honest. Katie Taylor's on there. Obviously Warrington fighting Lara, who punched him everywhere a couple of months ago. It was Feb, was it? around that time. And
That's when he got the split decision, wasn't it?
no, he got knocked out, Warrington.
Did he?
Yeah, so he he vacated his belt because he was a load of politics, and then he brought in MAURICIO Lara as like a, you know, I'm going to come in, I'm going to beat him up. Yes, 13th of Feb. It was on them Wembley arenas where Wembley card where Eddie was doing it behind the bubble or whatever, in the bubble. So he brought Lara in, who was you know, was 22-2 at the time. You know, 16 KOs. Looked like he could punch. Only 23, but like, you know, Mexican. But I should get some rounds in and take him out. Lara absolutely battered him.
Really?
Dropped him in the fourth. Should have stopped him in the fourth. Don't know how Howard Foster let it go on. Howard Foster basically carried Warrington back to his corner, and then beat him up again. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and then it got to the 9th, and Lara just flatlined him. Absolutely put him up on his back.
This would be interesting then.
Lara's the underdog.
Is this your tip coming up, is it?
Mate, it's one of them. I just do not understand it for the life of me. Like, you know when you say like, oh, mate, he must have been 20-1 or something, whatever at the first.
Really?
Fight. Yeah, he was. No one ever heard him, but this kid's 23. You know, he's had 25 fights. He battered Warrington pretty much every round. There weren't no fluke. Like, I'm not saying Andy Ruiz was a fluke, but he didn't land some punch and then
out of the heavens, like.
Like get away with it. He beat him up every round. So I just don't see how Warrington turns that. Unless Warrington comes and puts on an absolute masterclass, and it's like, you know, it was just about. If he does that, then fair play. But
what price is he?
11-10 he is outright. Just 6-4 for KO. Honest to God, I do not understand it. I mean, you know, if it goes to decision, you know, he's no chance 25 and leads the way boxing is. But if it was one of them fights, as I say, where he, you know, he just chinned him and he just found his punch and landed him on his chin and everyone can get knocked out, but it weren't. The way I'm looking at it is, it should have been stopped in the fourth. If he was coming into this rematch after blasting him out in 4 rounds, would he be 11-10? No, he'd be 1-3, 1-4, wouldn't he? But just because it prolonged in the 9th, people are like, oh, you know, just is what, like, it was a bad night, but I mean, I just, for the life of me.
And that's the main
event, yeah.
Main event.
You got another Mexican in the some boss stories on this card. Another Mexican in the chief support, Giovanni Straffon. Yeah. He's fighting Maxi Hughes. He's like a British lad, but Straffon got brought over for James Tennyson in another one of them cards as like an again for the IBO title. Like, you know, James Tennyson was like a wrecking machine at the time, knocking everyone out. Come over, knock a Mexican out, build it, and he just put him out in a round, cleaned him out. So
does that happen a lot? Does it, like, kind of, you think,
no,
get this
really.
lad out of the back end of nowhere, and, you know?
Not really, but the UK just seems to have this mad Mexican curse. You ring in Mexicans, no one heard of, and he just knock people out. But yeah, he's I think he's 5-4 as well for the KO over Maxi Hughes, which is again something that I'm interested in. I think that should be odds on, really, given, you know, Tennyson might not have the best chin in the world, but a lot of power. Do you know what I mean? And he just shook it off and just knocked him out. I think it's a bit of a. It was a bit of a statement, really. And then you've got obviously Conor Benn, Katie Taylor's on there, fighting Jennifer Han. And I have not looked at this, but Jennifer Han's name rings a bell, and don't think she's fought in ages.
What side's all this on as well? BT, is it?
The Zone now.
Oh, the Zone, yeah, of course.
They see they've put it up to $7.99.
Oh God, the uproar! It was like as if it is not coming.
Yeah. Eddie with his little marketing genius there, but he's I think Katie Taylor's on there. You know, Katie Taylor needs a stoppage, really. I know all women do, because, you know, they have the 2-minute rounds and it gets lost really in undercards. But I think she's 5-2 for the stoppage. Might have a little go with that because she's just a couple of levels above Jennifer Han, a couple of levels above everyone, isn't she? But coming off the Tasha Jonas stuff, I don't know whether they've tried to line someone up where she can, you know, get a little early night, KO in a pocket and then move on. But it's going to be a brilliant card. The only problem is that it
clashes
with the UFC, because the UFC is on British time because there's a British invasion.
God. So
it's going to be telly and iPad.
Telly and laptop or something,
telly and laptop, yeah. But
what's the UFC on? BT
Sport, yeah, from 7.
Oh.
This will start at 6 on the Zone.
Mate, night in for me this Saturday.
I'm off the ale now, innit? So it's night in. Coffee and snacks.
Hot chocolate for me, lad. Hot chocolate and biscuits.
I need a weekend off me. Don't know if anyone's listening, you need a weekend off the ale, but I do.
Yeah, I'm having a weekend off the ale. Tea and biscuits all Saturday night for me.
It's the life, innit? I might buy a new pair of slippers. With your arms. No one talks.
What are you doing this weekend, lad? Going to Matalan to buy a dressing gown.
Those are the best slippers you ever seen.
Load of biscuits from Asda. Talk to me, lad, about this UFC. My bet this weekend is purely, and my bet on when we've had bets personally, between like me and you've jumped on. They don't tend to go well, these bets from the heart, like when we bet on Jazza. But it's got to be the Scouse treble.
Molly till Pimblett.
It's got to be.
It's a proper...
Scouse treble. It's got to be.
It's a Scouse invasion. It's a British invasion as well. We've got Jack Shaw from Wales. Also Tom Aspinall, who's Everton, I think, Manchester way. Trains with Dad and Till.
St Helens, isn't it?
No, I think he's a bit further out. It might be like
okay.
Everton, something like that.
I've seen his interview with Nick Pete talking about Coronation Street, so it's somewhere like that, yeah.
Apparently he was like, I want to...
His best mates with Chesney.
Yeah, he wants to do UFC, he wants to go to rugby league.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to St Helens to sign him. But yeah, it's just obviously the top of the bill, Dadden versus Derek Brunson. Dadden needs a win, and needs a win bad. But I do think he's a level above Derek Brunson, who's, he's going to come in and just try and put Dadden on his back, and just because he's very wrestling heavy. He's got good power, but he's got a big wrestling base. But Till's really good actually at staying on his feet. People have tried to take him down in the past.
Do you not think Darren's one of those people I've kind of not slagged, but it frustrates me in the sense that he's fucking hilarious, isn't he, on social media, and that's got him. On one hand you're saying there he needs a win, and on the other hand you're saying he gets a win, he's got a title shot.
Yeah.
To me, you can say both of those in the same sentence, doesn't add up.
The thing is, the reason he's close to a title shot is the narrative, because him and Adesanya actually get on, but they have this weird banter between them, where they constantly send each other videos. I'm going to knock you out, I'm coming for your belt and all that stuff. They're both absolute showmen. The press conference would be McGregor style, because they're both confident, both crazy, both would do something mad.
And Adesanya's the champ at the minute.
Yeah. But it's just a perfect narrative. The unfortunate thing is, even Adesanya said himself, like, he needs to win. Darren's got to put something together. If it's even at the point now where if he comes in and beats Derek Brunson, but he beats him on decision and he just looks like he's doing his bouncing and he's dead nice and technical, it's still not enough.
You need to come in, clean him out,
and then get on the mic and go mental. Do you know what I mean? And demand it, because that's what gets you the fight.
Yeah,
it's the thing that I send to you on Sunday morning, saying, "Look at Hill's folks fight here," or I put in every WhatsApp group I'm in. That's what gets you the fight.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know. I feel like this might be a bit of a layup in terms of the UFC saying here's someone who's really respectable, who's good, but he's been knocked out by Adesanya, he's been knocked out by these other people. Now you go and knock him out, you know what I mean? We're begging you to fight for the title, basically.
Yeah.
But I think he's 11-8 by KO. TKO, KO.
There's some tasty bets you've got here for the
big ones
for the fighting sports.
I think if he wins, it's by KO, TKO. I don't see how the decision benefits anybody. If he wins by decision, he then has to go and fight a Marvin Vettori, or he has to run it back with Robert Whittaker. If he wins a decision, yes, he wins, but he's still where he is today. Do you know what I mean? He's no closer to that shot.
Yeah, the title.
But so I think that, and I think he's a smart guy with it. I know he gives it loads, and he's dead funny and all that stuff. But he's a very smart man. He's going to know that. He knows where the money's at. He knows, how. Look, he's at the top of the sport, and as you say, he's had losses even there, but he's still up there.
Yeah. So hopefully Darren Till win. That'll be the first leg of the treble up.
Obviously the co-mains, Tom Aspinall, we've just talked on. He's like the new breed of heavyweight, fighting a late replacement, Sergey Spivak. If anyone who doesn't watch MMA or dips in and out, just watch this fella. He's just like
Aspinall or Spivak. Yeah, Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall. Like, people say poetry in motion footy. That's what he is. He's like been doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu since he was about half an hour old. But he got knockout power too. Just he's perfectly balanced. Just a proper athlete. You know what I mean? And then we keep rolling down to Paddy. I think Paddy opens the main card, doesn't he?
One thing on Paddy, and hope to God Paddy does it. What I think's so interesting about fight sport though is like what Darren said. That being a big mouth on social media and stuff, and having that presence and character. I think it's so interesting, isn't it, for the likes of Paddy, He's got to be that showman to get himself where he wants to be. But at the same time, you leave yourself so open for memes and stuff. You know, there's that interview where Scousers don't get knocked out.
Yeah.
Imagine 30 seconds into his UFC debut, he just gets KO'd. He gets absolutely bingoed. Like, that's the pressure he's put himself under. Don't get me wrong, the risk reward, if he does what he says he's going to do, and God hope he does, he's you know, potentially the next Conor McGregor. If he doesn't,
I guess, yeah, I completely get what you're saying.
I had so much respect for it, like, because you've got to put yourself out there.
It's easy to just, you know, go in and be like, you know, sit at media day. You know, you've seen his media yesterday, and he's just giving. I don't think they understood the word he said, but he's like, it's easy to go in there and go, you know, thanks to the UFC, give me the opportunity. I'm here to, like, perfect my skills, all that stuff. Yeah, that's easy, but no one cares. Suddenly, if someone's going, I'm coming in here and he's got a round, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, then I'm going to take over the sport. He said I'm marked as wet dream.
Yeah, seeing that.
But like, he's coming in, he's saying all his stuff. He's like, I'm going to do this to him, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get Dana in a headlock. Yeah. Then I'm going to do this, and they're going to, you know, I'm the next McGregor. People watch, and that is pressure because he's got to deliver. But I guess what he's saying is, what's the alternative? Do I come in and be the respectful guy who, you know? And then when I come on BT Sport, everyone goes, let me check the zone. What fight's on here? Anyone who's watching the zone who's got a cross interest in boxing and MMA, when Paddy ring walks, you'll be on BT and you'll be watching him. Yeah, because you want to know whether he wins. A lot of people will want him to lose, but you'll watch anyway. And you'll want to see his ring walk, and you'll want to see him, like, you know, giving it loads. Yeah, it's part of the game. We touched on it the other week.
Of course, yeah. You think he does it?
I do, yeah. I do think he wins. Again, I think it's a sort of, it's not a layup because Vedran's a good fighter, but, you know, I think he could have been matched harder.
Could have been a tougher fight for him.
But what worries me is how late he's gone out and stuff. I think he went a day or two after Molly and all them from the same
with jet lag and things like that.
It's not that. It's sort of like, you know, you land in Vegas and then he probably wouldn't have had.
He's not going there for the same reasons we went to Vegas, lad. You're thinking of your trip to Vegas.
Yeah. But I don't know whether he's got there and been allowed to, like, reset and, like, have this big sleep. He's landed and he's already a day behind media duties and signing posters, and he's got to go and do that. Then he's got to go and get, you know, his kit and all it. Before you know it, Saturday, and you're like, that was a whirlwind. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And, you know, he's now in the UFC. He's a different level. He hasn't had the most competitive fight over the last couple of years because he's had a couple of hand injuries and stuff. But again, I think he wins. I think he, in that octagon, he is the better fighter. Fact. But it's just getting down there.
Circumstances and stuff,
it's getting there and it's doing it. And it's like, you know, not being able to, you know, black out all this. Because if he wins, everyone's going to want an interview. Everyone's going to want this, you know. Everyone's already done that. It's about blacking that out and then being like, right, job to do now. And, you know, if he does it, you know, as you say, he's on his... Dana and all the other guys at the UFC will be getting him out again as quickly as possible, and he could go to wherever he wants to go, but... Yeah, it's just exciting. Just getting doing it, and then...
Molly.
Keep going, Molly, yeah. I think it's a different thing for Molly, because
she needs to win.
It's the last fight in the contract, yeah. So Molly's fighting for... you know, with respect, her life as a UFC fighter, not a genuine life. But, you know, she's not been matched easy. I think Kim's pretty much in the same, like, position. She's got to win too. You know, they both haven't really, knocked anybody out or anything like that. They're matched quite well in terms of sort of their skill sets. But it's just like whoever wants it most now. I don't think you could ever back against Molly in that department.
What concerns me though is you said the 10-inch reach.
Yeah, 10-inch reach advantage she's got.
And knowing the type of fighter Molly is, where she'll just want to go forward and not take a step back, that scares me a little.
The thing with Kim, she's a bit... It's easy for me to say because she'd fucking batter me, but she's a bit... It's a bit robotic. It's like she's very upright, like a lot of it's dead long stuff. Yeah. Whereas, you know, if you watch Molly, she's like... Everything's at 100 mile an hour, do you know what I mean? She's a brilliant boxer. Yeah. But, you know, for us, we want Molly to be able to get in, do her damage, get out, do you know what I mean? Take it on decision. Love her to get a finish, obviously I would, but I think what we were saying with Darren, where he needs to get it, for Molly, she just needs to win. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Worry about that stuff when you get your new contract or whatever. Because if she wins, she will get a new contract.
I think she will, yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, the depth is not really there with her division and stuff, and she's a very good part of that division. But, you know, if she loses and she gets cut, what happens then? But, yeah, I think, you know, it's 4-5 for Kim, evens for Molly, I think, odds-wise. I think that's probably about fair on what you've seen, but you know, Molly's had the chance. It's just in her hands.
It sounds like a close fight.
It's going to be a great fight because, you know, if it gets to round 3 and it's very close, these two girls are going to know.
They're going to have to go for it.
This is it, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's sink or swim time. And, you know, she's brilliant at the media stuff. Like, all her interviews this week, you know, she's been, you know, she's giving it loads.
I thought Nick Pete's done a great job, by the way. He's done some really good stuff.
But it's just like, yeah, she speaks well, and you sort of, you can see that she knows that this is what it's not like she's going there and she's being like, you know, I might get another she's like, I've got to win. That's what's happening, and I think that's a good thing, because talking about pressure, she's like, there's only one outcome for that fight that can happen, and she's focused in on it. And then you got Jack Shaw, who's a Welsh lad, who for me is probably one of the brightest prospects in the whole UFC. But again, he does a lot of punditry work with like BBC. He works with Nick a lot for BBC, and he dissects the game brilliant, and he's a great talker. He's also an absolute, just chokes everyone out. But he's fighting a guy, I'm not even going to try and say his name, but he's off the UFC Contender Series, and that, you know, that looks set up for him to win. Again, I think that'll probably come by submission. He's decent, you know, that's his game. But he's sort of, to watch him, he's in a bantamweight division, which is a brilliant division. I think he's 14-0, but he's someone who's we're going to see a lot more of, do you know what I mean? So just when you're watching,
keep an eye out.
But then even the fights for the Americans with, like, you know, you got one there, Canadian, Charles Jourdain versus Julian Erosa, who actually Paddy's fought in Cage Warriors. That's just going to be a war. I just can't see how the card's just amazing. What
is the timings? I was thinking this the other day, with it being European time, what time are they fighting in Vegas? Probably midday, something.
Yeah, so it's 7 o'clock it starts.
UK prelims. Time?
Yeah. So, I don't know.
So like lunchtime, isn't it? Imagine getting up for a fight, having your brekkie and then go for a fight, go for a straightener at 12.
So I don't know if coming to do this. Imagine having to fight your way in here. But, it's boss for European MMA fans, because, you know, for as long as I can remember, you know, I've probably been watching it for now. I've always gone in and out, but maybe 2.5, 3 years now of, like, you know, really being deep in it. And the amount of late nights and early mornings.
I can imagine,
to be able to, like, just sit on the couch and be like,
7 o'clock Saturday night, new slippers on.
Yeah, mate, honest to God.
Big tin of biscuits.
Yeah. But amazing card. You know, let's just hope your Scouse
treble comes in. What bet are you nailing then?
I think I'm going to go Jack Shaw by submission 15-8, Till by KO 11-8. They're me two from the UFC, but the one that I'm going to nail, let me see, I've got a list of them here. Might put this up. I'm going to go, I'm going to put Till up by KO 11-8. Very, very closely followed by MAURICIO Lara by KO at 6-4. But if anyone's having a bet on Lara, maybe, you know, you can get 11-10 for him to win, but I hate to say this, but he can only win by KO. Because if he gets to the judges at Headingley,
may as well do the KO.
So you might as well take the 6-4 and just, you know, hope. But done it before, and I think he'll probably do it again.
Posh, let's see if the postman delivers.
Yeah, needs to.
Right, enjoyed this, George. Probably a slightly longer one, but we had lots to talk about with the transfers, and then obviously a big weekend of fight sport coming up. Hope you all enjoyed it. Again, massive thanks to Monterex. Go and get yourself some Monterex gear, 15% off. If you do enjoy us gobbling off about sport on a Friday, and it is Party Friday Ritual, you can support us on Patreon, which we would love. It's £1 a week. It's just about you being nice, giving us £1 a week, really. Pays for the office, pays for all this kind of stuff. We'd appreciate that. I think that's it. Have a boss weekend, and I'll see you next week.